Now that we've increased our walls up to the roof level, we're now going to build our first floor slab. In the project browser under floor plans, we can now double click on first floor. There we can see our external walls. And then below that in light gray, we can see the external walls, the partitions, those architectural columns and so on. That's simply just the ground floor underlay. This we can turn off. How we do so, we'll go to the properties section, ensuring that we're in the properties of the view. If we have something selected, the properties palette will take on those properties. In order for the properties palette to take on the properties of the view, double tap escape so nothing is selected, and the properties palette will now display the view's properties. Next, we will scroll down to the heading underlay, and our first option there is range base level. And our base level is currently showing the ground floor, which is the grayed out outline on our plan. If we select none, we won't see the ground floor being displayed anymore. Now that we have our clear working space, we can create our first floor slab. Same process as drawing in the ground floor slab. We'll go to our build panel. We'll select floor. Again, we have the same contextual tab. We must select one of these modes to finish, how we will draw it. We have our options bar with the offset and extend into wall core. The difference between the first floor slab and the ground floor is obviously we must go to our type selector and change over the slab type. Reason being is we don't want a ground floor bearing slab as our first floor slab. So in the type selector, we have 4 different types, 2 being the ground floor slab. The remaining 2, the first one is a concrete floor and the second is a timber floor. So we will select the floor upper 160mm concrete. Next we'll go to the draw panel. And the drawing method we're going to choose is the pick walls. Once we have it selected, we'll just select each one of the external walls. As we are creating a boundary, it's always best just to place it first, green tick to finish to ensure that everything is in order. When we place a slab that has any components underneath it, we're going to get these pop-ups. The pop-up is saying, would you like the walls that go up to this floor's level to attach to its bottom? So when we put in that 160mm slab, any wall that comes up to the underside of that, do we want it to connect to the underside of the slab or do we want it to cut right through it? So if we select yes, any wall that goes up to that floor will attach to the bottom of the slab. If we select no, any wall that's below that slab is simply just going to cut right through it. So we're going to select yes. The next pop-up is asking, the floor or roof overlaps the highlighted walls. Would you like to join the geometry and cut the overlapping volume out of the wall? What that means is when the floor slab meets that external wall, do we want the slab to cut into the wall itself or not? So yes, we do. So select yes. To give you an idea of that, I'm going to place a section view. So there we can see the floor slab cutting into that blockwork. So the blockwork now sits on top of that slab and comes up to the underside. As well, we can see the partition coming to the underside of the slab. Now that we know that the boundary of that slab works and everything is okay, we want to go back in to edit it. So if you can't select the slab, like I can't at the moment, come down to select elements by face, which is this tool here. Turn that on. So now we are able to select the slab. You can either press enter, double tap, or click on edit boundary in the contextual tab. And what we're going to do is we will open up this area here because this is going to be a double height lobby. If you open up the PDF 011 first floor, you'll get the dimensions of this opening. I'm going to select it here, and this dimension here is 6388. Green tick to finish, and again we'll get the same pop-ups. Go to the 3D view, spin around, and there we can see our opening.